Hey guys, Varuna here. In this video I will be covering an event guide for the World Eaters. I observed several competitive decks of the faction and then organized the cards into tiers. While this won't be the perfect tier list for any Warlord, it should give you a general idea of each card's worth. Before I begin, if you enjoy tier list videos like this, I create at least one new guide for each event, so be sure to subscribe so you can be notified of my future uploads. For selecting a Warlord, I would highly recommend Dragar. His cleave is great for hitting troops on the side, and the extra card helps a lot too. Starting off F tier, all these cards are bad and you should avoid drafting them if possible. Gladiator Group 27's effect is not good enough to justify adding it to the deck. Throne of Skulls is bad because it only affects Astartes, so it has no effect on the many vehicles you'll include in the deck. Aggressive Tactics is too situational. You'll need at least 2 damaged troops to make it worthwhile. Just skip it. Dort and Honor's Retribution are too expensive and have little impact when played. For the Blood God is the worst card in the faction. The chances of you summoning Slayer of Worlds is unlikely, so most of the time it's just 2 damage to all units for 7 energy, which is just awful. C tier cards are fine additions when paired with higher tiered cards. Drask Scouts, Slurn Squad, and Stole Squad all are cheap and have decent effects. Kardok is nice since it heals all your units, but it's a bit underwhelming. Butcher's Nails has the same problem as Throne of Skulls, but the buff is better and it affects the troops in hand. Sedition's Gate is a hard removal, which are always useful. The fact you have to sacrifice a troop for it is bad though. Wrath's Berserkers, Morgue Terminators, and Macer Varen are all decent. Not much else to say. Monument of Khorne's 1 damage ability synergizes well with all the rage-based troops in the deck. Unfortunately, it can't attack. Skain Squad's effect is great, but at 4 energy it's quite expensive in the mid-game. Gorefather is arguably the worst legendary, but it has its uses such as hitting stealth units from the Ruinstorm faction. Merciless's damage is a bit on the weak side, but if you can draw some cards from it, it makes it worthwhile. Blade of Fury, Ghost, and Battle's Glory are all okay, but a bit expensive. B tier cards are strong cards overall. Keth Bike's effect is great because it synergizes well with all the rage troops. You can also use it to pick off your opponent's troops at 1 HP. Crashed Bikes is one of the best cards to add buffs to. It's also great because it pressures your opponent to destroy it right away. Rond Veterans, Lork Squad, Roth Landspeeder, and Harley Squad all have decent effects. Plus they have more than 3 hit points, which allows them to survive a hit from Angron and Kabanda, who are very common in this event. Hidden Strength is underappreciated. The rage buff works great when you have a few troops out. Lorg is great at adding pressure. Your opponent will have to think twice before destroying it, or summoning troops when it's on the field. The Conqueror is essential when your opponent has a built-up board in the late game, which is why I recommend every deck you draft have at least one of these. A tier cards are some of the best choices for World Eaters. Strike and Fade also synergizes with all the rage-based troops in the deck. The bonus effect of drawing a card if it destroys a unit makes it very versatile. Sweeping Advance is a strong buff. Works well with Crash Spikes, and especially Argus Brawn to buff him to insane levels. Barsk Squad is just a strong troop in general. It has above average stats for its cost and a good effect. No Survivors is great at clearing boards. Being able to give your troops a Mark of Chaos is also a nice bonus. Giving your Warlord +1 attack with Gorechild is extremely helpful, especially if you can play it right on turn 5. Armor of Mars Heal is strong, and great for outlasting your opponent. S tier cards are the best of the best. Serek Landspeeder is versatile. Being able to hit an enemy troop or Warlord for 4 damage is fantastic. Wrath is by far the best World Eaters card. He is so good that I actually recommend you grab 2 of him over taking any other legendary. Argus Brawn can swing games hard. If your opponent can't destroy him the turn he's summoned, he can do insane damage the following turn, maybe even seal your victory. That concludes this event guide for World Eaters. Thanks for watching. You can find the full image of this guide in the description box. Do you agree with where I placed each card in the tier list? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe so you can be notified of future guides I make. I'll leave you with this sample draft I did for the current event. Good luck out there. I hope you can do a 12-win run.